Welcome back. I'm Alfred Lambrot Weber, and I'm very happy to be with Magnus Olsson, who's the Executive Director of the European Coalition Against Covert Harassment, ucatch.org. Welcome, Magnus.
Thank you, Alfred.
Now, you quite recently, on the 16th of November 2013, were the subject of a second assassination attempt by remote suffocation, this one just after you had met with the World Organization Against Torture in Geneva. Could you tell us about that assassination attempt and how you survived?
Yes, we had the meeting the 16th with the World Organization Against Torture, and the day after we had an interview, a radio interview, and that night when we arrived with the team, the EUCASH team, the coalition, I suddenly couldn't breathe at all. The autonomic function was disabled, so I just stopped breathing. And the team, the coalition, was performing a CPR on me until the ambulance arrived, and that was around 30 minutes. And I did not breathe anything at all by myself. They did the CPR, and when the ambulance arrived, they took me to a hospital in France, and I was there for one night. And when I woke up, because I became unconscious while this happened in an early stage, so I do not have any memory from what happened after that.
Yes, and when the attack first happened, were you alone? Were you sitting with people, or what?
Yeah, we were the whole team, the EUCASH team. So we were four people, and my mother was there too. And she is very she knows a lot about medicine. She's a nurse. So she could start the CPR immediately.
Now you suffered another assassination attempt by remote suffocation on October 29th. What do you think is the mechanism of this? How are these done? By what mechanism?
Well, when you have an online brain, but when you are connected to the supercomputer, they can, by pinpointing overstimuli, evoke different potentials, and whatever they do wish. For example, change the way the autonomous system is working. So they, at the first murder attempt, they switched off my breathing, and I woke up in the from sleep, and then I could by myself walk to the bathroom and see that I was blue in the face and so on. But that was a different attempt in a different way, because this time, the 16th, it was much more severe. They really switched off and made me unconscious immediately. So this was much more. It was much harder. And when the supercomputer, when you have the online function, both it's a two-way communication, and when you have the ability to, even by the overstimuli, to evoke these different kind of happenings. For example, the remote suffocation thing. There is a lot of victims, a lot of TIs that have been experiencing this that I didn't know before. But when this happened to me, and we went out with the last interview, Alfred, there was a lot of people writing to me and telling that they had experienced just the same.
Yeah, there was an American activist who, in fact, was assassinated, was murdered about a year ago in September of 2012 with a remote heart attack. Is that correct?
That's correct. His name was Sean Steen, and this is a very sad fact. But he went to Sweden. He lived in Chicago, and he came to Sweden to visit me and leave a testimony at YTV, Henning Witte's television, online television. So he left the testimony and so on. Then he went back to Chicago, and a couple of weeks after that, 3 months, yes, after that, he died. And there is no actual description of how he died, but it seems that it could have been the same thing, about the same thing that they are trying to do with me.
Now, you had mentioned that sometime during the attack, the perpetrators started talking with you telepathically and threatening you. What did they say?
They said to me, Magnus, if you succeed with your work once more, we will kill you. And yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, but this is something that they have used in the communication, and then they used to mock execute me in the first 3 years. They tried to scare me really bad. So it's hard to say, but you get used to this kind of treatment.
Now, what is some of the work that you were doing? For example, your meeting at the World Organization Against Torture. What are some of the subject matters that you're dealing with that they feel so threatened?
Well, we are on the brink to disclose the worst crime ever committed, and in Europe. And even around the world, this is happening, and we are doing this in a lot of different ways. For example, we have just passed legislation to the Libe Committee in the Parliament, and I mean,
this is the Human Rights Committee in the European Parliament, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Right, and that's a European Commission regulation to ban all of these electronic weapons of torture, including HARP and chemtrails, in the European Union.
Yes.
Right. So that was one of the main subject matters at your meeting.
Yes, it was, but as a lot of people are stripped of all of their rights and being tortured so severe that you do not want to continue your life, and people are committing suicide around all over the world because they can't handle this crazy way of treating humans. I mean, nobody wants to live like an open book, and you do not have one little small secret, and they are playing with your life as it was a game almost. And today it's very hard to prove what is going on, but there is ways, and we are finding them one by one here. So I'm sure that we will disclose this completely, and this has to be regulated and stopped.
Yes. Now, how can people keep in touch with your work, and how can people support your work at UCatch?
Well, on the website eucache.org, you can become a member, and you can just, instead of on the targeting description, you can write that you just want to be a member to support our work. That's very good for us to get support in our fight.
Yes.
And there is a couple of websites that I run in these subjects too.
Excellent. We will list them at the end of the video. Yes. So you're talking about your plans for the future.
Yes, I was interviewed by Russia Today, Daniel Estulin, and that documentary about mind control is a very good one, and it's something that I recommend all the viewers to have a look at. It's just half an hour, and it's actually disclosing what is possible by this technology today. What we are carrying out right now in the Parliament and the Commission and so on is a kind of work together with the support of Russia Today as one of the supporters. And because they do want to disclose this too, because they after the show that was aired, that I was interviewed, they got 20,000 emails from people around the world, and there was just 11 million viewers on when it was aired. So we will continue with our cooperation.
Thank you. Are there any final words that you'd like to leave our viewers with?
Yes. Please do support us, because this is about our future, and we do not want our children to be electronic slaves.
Thank you. Thank you, Magnus, for being with us, and we look forward to being with you in the future as your work develops.
Thank you very much, Alfred.